60-minute yoga practice is going to focus on full body stretch. There are no balance poses today. Keeping it kind and gentle for a full body stretch. Props that you need today, we will be doing some poses on the hands and knees, so if you need cushion for your knees, you can grab a knee pad, I have one back there, or a hand towel, or add an extra doubling layer on your yoga mat. Also, when we sit in our cross-legged pose, just to make it kinder to our hips, you can sit upon a cushion or a yoga block. So I've got both of those props back there. I'll probably use the yoga block. Lastly, we'll do some stretches with a strap. So if you have a yoga strap, great. If not, you can use any non-stretchy belt, leather or woven fabric, whatever's good for you. Go ahead and put that belt or strap on your mat right now, and we'll use it when we go into a fold to stretch the shoulders. So have it available to you. We are going to start with a hand gesture, the American Sign Language gesture for the word relax. Time to relax, and all you do is cross your arms at your heart, hands to the shoulders. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. One more. And then relax those arms, give them a sway. Before we begin our spinal stretch, we're going to go into a yoga breath pose and then some neck turns. So let's start with the yoga breath called the victory breath or Ujjayi breath. I'll stay close to you so you can hear my breath. I'll even come a tiny bit closer. So in our victory breath, we'll start with the exhale. It's like you're fogging up a mirror, except you're going to keep your lips closed. But if you want to do it once with your lips open, just to feel that vibration, go ahead, pretend you have a mirror in front of you and feel the vibration in the back of your throat. You can do it one more time with your mouth open. And now do it with your mouth closed. Feel that vibration, that circulation of air in the back of your throat. Do it one more time. Now we'll do the inhale portion of the Ujjayi breath or victory breath. Imagine you've got a cup of hot cocoa or hot tea, and you take a sip and you realize it's too hot for your tongue, so you move it to the back of your mouth and sip it in and swirl it around so it doesn't burn the inside of your mouth. Do it with your lips closed, and you're doing it more with your nose than you're sipping with your mouth. You're sipping with your nose. Take it to the back of your throat. And now let's put those two together. Try not to gulp or constrict the throat on the inhalation. So even though you're moving the air to the back of your throat, keep the throat relaxed. And we'll put the inhale and the exhale together. So inhale, hot liquid. Exhale, fog the mirror. Do that twice more without me talking in between. Go ahead, inhale and exhale at your own pace. And now return to normal breathing, but anytime you want to incorporate that deep yoga breath in our poses, that's going to enhance the body's ability to relax. It lowers your resting heart rate and has a calming effect on the body. So incorporate that whenever we're holding a pose for a few breath cycles, or even if we're moving a pose. You can inhale the arms up and exhale. So think about that vibration in the back of the throat. Let's take a moment now and actually stretch the throat area, the neck area, with some neck turns. Shoulders relaxed, spine is tall. Inhale. You can use that victory breath, and then exhale, turn head to the right. Inhale, center. Turn head to the left. Go at your own pace. And whenever you get to the right shoulder the next time, hold it there. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And we're going to add a small motion here, keeping the motion going. Just dip the chin down and then inhale it back to level. Exhale down. Inhale, level. One more. And now go all the way across to the other side. Looking over your left shoulder. Same thing. Exhale down. Inhale, level. One more. Now return that face to front. Roll the shoulders back. I'm backing up so you can see me head to toe. We'll go into our 7 warm-up poses for the spine, our 7 motions. So starting in mountain, tennis ball distance between the big toes. Stack everything over the heels, knees, hips, shoulders, ears, shoulder blades into your back pockets, palms facing forward. Let's start with elongation. Scoop the air up, stretch as high as you can, and then release it down. Remember, you can use that victory breath. One more. Standing cat and cow. Exhale, round your back. Hug a giant tree, tuck the chin. Inhale, pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Again, victory breath if you want to incorporate that. Make those arms fluid. And do one more pattern, cat and cow. And then stand tall. Both hands above, placing the palms together. And let's start tilting the body from one side to the other. Think about the lifting portion of the rib cage. Think about elongation. Bear the weight firmly through both feet. Don't lean to one side with your feet, only with the upper body. One more each side. Center and release. Roll the shoulders back. Last motions of the spine rotation, right and left. Let's do slow motion sprinter. Right arm forward, left elbow back, and switch. Rotating through the upper body, hips remain stationary. Engage the abdominal muscles to protect the core of the body, the low back, the side body. One more each arm. And relax. Shake everything out. We'll go into some shoulder circles here. So lift the shoulders up, back, and down. Go at your own pace. Let your fingers relax. Maybe you feel some movement going on through those shoulder blades. Maybe you hear some movement going on. Let's do one more circle. And then pause. And now to complement that, we'll reverse, but we're not going to do quite such a broad circle because we spend too much time in internal rotation anyway. So I want you to think about just the shoulders and the hands moving. So start with your hands forward and then switch it. Palms back, shoulders forward, and then reverse. So it's just through the shoulders, forward and back. Do one more. And release. We don't need to build up a habit of internal rotation because most of us already have it either from driving, computers, iPhones, lots of devices cause us to have internal rotation. So we want to avoid building up that habit and think about the opposite habit, external rotation. Let's go into some motion for the shoulders here. Bring your arms to cactus with star hands. Spread those fingers as wide as you can. Draw the elbows back slightly, and we're going to come into a V. Lift it up, and then back to cactus. Go at your own pace here. Stretching through those arms and shoulders. Keep the elbows pressed slightly back. External rotation. One more. And release. Just sway the arms out. And we're going to do one more pose here without using the feet. Still just working on upper body stretching and warm up. Halo pose. So hold your own hand in front of your chest. Relax the shoulders down. We start with figure 8. Dip right, dip left. Listen to your body. You can stay here. If this is enough for your shoulders, then by all means, stay here. If you want to add the halo over and around your head, the next time you dip right, slow it down, and then take those arms up and behind and back. If that doesn't work, stay with the figure 8, or do 2 more halos, right and around, 1 more right and around. And now let's go back to figure 8s, left and right. Again, you can stay here, or if you want to add the angel halo, next time you dip left, slow it down, dip all the way around, and come back to the front. You can stay there with the figure 8s, or do 2 more angel halos, 1 more angel halo, and then release, ragdoll those arms. All right, let's do some lower body here. We're going to go into railroad tracks. A pose that stretches the body and increases the range of motion in our ability to twist the upper body. A motion that you might use when you're driving the car and you need to look behind you. Or if you do some sports, maybe it's a motion you use in tennis or pickleball, or maybe it's a motion you use in golf. All right, so it's a motion that we incorporate into our daily life. Step your right foot forward, left foot back. Big toe of the left foot is even with the heel of the right, so we're not in a lunge. Both knees are straight but soft. Don't hyperextend. So here's what not to do. I'll show you from the side. Don't do this. That's hyperextension. Keep a little softness, add a little shape to the knees. You're on railroad tracks, 2 parallel lines. And we're going to turn towards the left and see what our range of motion is. So shoulders relaxed, hands hanging down, inhale. Exhale, turn upper body, shoulder girdle, rib cage, and go as far as you can. Look to see what you can see. And then come back to face front. Now we add the stretch. It's internal rotation of the hip joints. So take your feet and point the toes towards each other. Start small. See how that feels. If you can take it 1 more step, go ahead and take that. If you feel like you're going to tip over, then back it off. You're in control. The more you can internally rotate, the greater range of motion difference you're going to see. But don't tip over. Shoulders relaxed, hands hanging loose. You won't turn as far this time, and we're going to hold it for a count of 10, but don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale, turn your body to the left again. Keep breathing as I count you down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Face front, come back on your railroad tracks. Right foot is still forward of the left. Shoulders relaxed, hands hanging loose. And we go back to our first assessment. Inhale. Exhale, turn to the left 1 more time. And I got a huge increase in my range of motion. I hope you did too. Come back to face front. And let's switch the feet on our railroad tracks. Left foot forward, right foot behind. Big toe is even with the heel of the forward foot. We start by assessing our range of motion. Shoulders relaxed, hands hanging loose. Inhale. Exhale, turn your upper body. Don't move your hips. Just look to see what you can see. No judgments. Just see where it is and come back to face front. And now internally rotate. Remember, take it baby step first. Just see how that feels. See how your balance feels. And then if you feel like you can take it a little deeper, go ahead and take it a little deeper. Your left foot is still slightly forward of the right. Breathe. If you're feeling too much tension on the knees, back off the rotation. Shoulders relaxed, hands loose. Inhale. Exhale, turn to the right. You won't go as far. Keep breathing as I count you down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Face front. Come back on your railroad tracks. Shoulders relaxed, hands loose. And we'll turn to the right 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, turn to the right. Just the upper body. And maybe find a little bit more range of motion on the second side. Come back to face front. Walk the feet together. Prance it out. We're going to go into a forward fold, a downward dog, and we're going to end up with a wide stance but not super wide. Our feet are only going to be as wide as the small dimension of our mat. And that's where we're going to do our shoulder stretch. So go ahead and put your strap at the skinny end of the mat that I would consider the bottom of the mat, and then walk over to the top of the mat. So the strap is away from you right now, but it'll be convenient for you to grab when we go into that full wide forward fold, because we get there from down dog. All right, so from the top of your mat, facing the skinny end, set up your mountain post, tennis ball distance between your big toes. Everything is stacked over the heels, shoulder blades in the back pockets. We're going to go into half forward fold and then full forward fold. Inhale, lift up your arms. Exhale, fold, make the letter L with your body, hands to your thighs or just below the knees. Put a beverage on the back of your neck. Shake out your knees, keep them soft, but push your hips back. And now bend your knees, tilt your bottoms up. Slide your hands down, look at your knees, and then straighten your knees out. You can rest your hands on your feet, your ankles, the mat. You can make TP fingers, whatever works, but keep looking at your knees. Keep them soft. Push your bottoms away. Feel that deepen the stretch in the backs of the legs. Breathe. And we're going to go into down dog. So bend both knees, plant your hands flat on the mat. And step one foot at a time back, soften the knees, and then exhale, lift your hips up, spread your hands wide, lift through the armpits, press your thigh bones into your legs, and begin your prancing, down dog prancing, deepening the stretch in the backs of the legs. Keep lifting up through the armpits, ears are close to the arms. Pause the prancing motion and set your feet wide as the mat, wide down dog, and bend both knees. Tilt your bottoms up, almost like a standing version of puppy pose. Heart is melting. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And now soften the elbows to walk the hands back towards the feet. Wide forward fold, straighten those knees out, look underneath your legs, breathe. Walk your hands over to the right foot. Walk your hands over to the left foot. Come back to center, and we're going to add a windmill. Keep your right hand on the mat, lift your left hand to the sky. Try not to sink onto your right shoulder, lift up out of that right shoulder, breathe. And we'll switch. Bring the left hand down, send the right arm to the sky, lift up out of the left shoulder, and release. Adding our shoulder stretch, so here's where we get to pick up our strap that we left there conveniently. You only need a few inches, maybe 8 to 10 inches. Go ahead and pick it up, place it behind your bottoms, holding the strap between your hands. Lift your hands up away from your body, look underneath your legs. If you need to soften your knees here, you can. Allowing your chest to drop between your thighs, breathe. One more breath cycle. Bring the hands back down to your body, set the strap down, and we're going to go into ragdoll. So cup the elbows with the opposite hands, straighten out the legs again, and go ahead and just add a little sway. One more breath cycle. Pause the ragdoll. We're going to come all the way down to the mat, but we're going to be on the mat for the remainder of our practice, so this is the time to move your device if you need to. If you don't move your device, go ahead and come to a seated position on the mat. If you do, go ahead and roll up and then move your device, and then come back to the mat. We're going to come into table pose, hands and knees. So if you need a knee pad, you can pad, or you can even use a hand towel or double your own mat. Coming onto hands and knees, spread your hands wide like stars. Set your neutral spine, beverage on the back of your neck, toenails relaxed onto the mat, lift up out of the shoulders, and we're going to send the hips forward and back. So draw the hips forward at the knees, and then slightly behind the knees. Go at your own pace here, just moving through those hip joints. Use your victory breath again if you like, incorporate that here. One more. Return to table, and we'll go into some hip circles. Doesn't matter which direction you start. Start to think about the motion coming from your navel, your belly button. Like you're a belly dancer, trying to move those hips using your core strength. Pause and go the other way. Don't think about moving the hips by moving your legs or knees around. Think about using your core muscles. And pause. Finishing our table poses here with cat and cow. Inhale, and now exhale, cat. Drop your head, chin towards the chest, broaden the shoulder blades, and then reverse the curve. Inhale, lower the belly, move the heart forward. Go at your own pace. Exhaling into cat, inhaling to cow. If you want, bend the elbows to deepen the range of motion between the two poses. One more. And then return to neutral spine. We're going to go into a little sweeping motion, a twisted table, using the arm to sweep up and down. So let's bear the weight on the right hand, pick up your left, thread the hand behind, and then sweep it up to the air. So we're not going all the way to thread the needle here, just a few inches behind the right arm, and then up to the sky. Go at your own pace. The next time you're up in the air with the hand, hold it there. Take one extra breath cycle. And place the hand back down on the mat. Going into puppy pose, crawl your hands to the top of the mat, spreading the hands wide. Lower the ears between your straight arms. Lift your hips and melt the heart. One more breath cycle. And lift the heart back up. Place your hands directly under your shoulders. We're going to go into one-legged plank rock. Send your right foot back, curling the toes onto the mat. Push the heel back, and then release. Go ahead and just rock and roll through the ball of the foot here, stretching the sole of the foot. Keep lifting up through the shoulders, strong upper body. Pause the motion, and we're going to go into bird dog, engaging the muscles in the back body and stretching through the back of the leg. So lift up through the shoulders, float that right foot off the mat, could be a few inches, or maybe you get that leg up to the height of the hip. Keep lifting through the shoulders, right foot is flexed, toes are pointing down. We're not going to add the balance component here, we're just thinking about the strength of the body and not necessarily adding any undue anxiety about the pose. So keep both hands on the mat today as we count down 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot down, tuck it into your chest, and we're going to step it all the way forward to the top of the mat. Place the fingertips on the edges of the mat, making little teepees, and now sink your left hip up and down just an inch, enhancing the stretch through the hip flexor area, maybe even a little bit on the top of the quadricep. Pause the motion. We're going to go into a lateral flexion here. We're going to do it 2 ways. First of all, both hands come up to that right knee, lifting the chest up. Press firmly through that right foot. That gives you stability. And also through the big toe on the left foot. Finding that stability in the lower body. Keep your right shoulder relaxed as you lift your left arm to the sky. Right hand remains resting on the knee, but don't have a death grip on the knee. Just light relaxation on the hand. And we go over the head and straight up. Second time over and up. One more time, over and up. We're stretching through that hip flexor and around the side of the hip here. Now we're going to take it a little deeper. So take this right hand down to the mat. Send your left arm up to the sky. Same thing. Over and up. Over and up. One more time. Over and bring that hand all the way back down to the mat as we go into half monkey, Ardha Hanumanasana. Walk the hands back. Straightening out that right knee, flexing the foot. Keep this foot active. Don't just let it flop down. Keep that foot active. Don't sink your hips down onto your left leg. Keep the hips elevated. And now lift up through your shoulders and draw your heart forward just an inch. Feel that deepen the stretch. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Make it a victory breath cycle if you like. Draw the hands forward and then tuck the knee back down onto the mat. Take a brief child's pose. And we'll do that entire sequence on the other side. Pull yourselves forward. We're starting with that twisted table. Big star with your left hand. That's the one that stays on the mat. Pick up your right hand. Thread it a few inches behind. And then turn it away. Lift it up to the sky. And go at your own pace. Just a little motion here, a dynamic stretch, a twisting motion, engage the abdominal muscles. And the next time the hand is up in the air, hold it up in the air. One breath cycle here. And release it back down. Going into puppy pose, crawling hands to the top of the mat. Lower the ears between your straight arms, lift through the armpits. Lift your hips and melt the heart. One more breath cycle. Lift the heart. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders, keeping them wide star shapes. Lift up through the shoulders and send your left foot back to the bottom of your mat, curling the toes onto the mat. Start pushing the heel away and releasing it. Go at your own pace, stretching through the sole of the foot and the back of the leg. Pause the motion. Going into bird dog here. Lift up through the shoulders, float the left foot off the mat a few inches, or bring the heel up to the height of the hip. Keep lifting through the shoulders. Toes are pointing down. Look to the top of your mat. We're not adding the balance component here. We're counting down 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to draw that knee into the chest. Step the foot all the way to the top of the mat. And bring your hands to the edges of your mat, little teepees. Sink that right hip up and down, just an inch or so. Keep this vertical line, knee over the heel. Pause that motion and we'll go into our lateral flexion. First time, hands up on the thigh, shoulders relaxed. Keeping your left hand on the left knee, a relaxed hand. Push firmly through that left foot, follow the foot and the heel, and also through the right big toe. Give yourself stability in both feet. Lift your right arm to the sky and keep this left shoulder relaxed. Laterally flex, reach over the head and back up. Second time over and up. Third time over and up. And now draw that left hand down to the mat. Make a little teepee. We've got that extra support now, so we'll go a little deeper. Lateral flexion and up. Lateral flexion and up. One more. Lateral flexion. And now return the right hand to the mat. Walk both hands back towards your right knee, straightening the left knee. Flex the left foot. Keep the hips elevated, keep the foot active. Lift the chest up and bring the heart forward just an inch. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend that left knee, walk your hands forward, and then tuck that left knee back down onto the mat. Have a brief child's pose here. We're going to transition to a wrist stretch, the last of the poses on our knees, and then going into prone on our belly. So our wrist stretch, we're going to take the backs of the hands to the mat with the fingers interlaced, just slightly interlaced here. You can let your hips rest on your calves, or you can elevate your hips. Backs of the hands to the mat. Start with your elbows straight, and then bend the elbows to the side, lowering the chest, and straighten back up. So again, you can do this back with your hips on the calves, or with your hips elevated. You pick. To go at your own pace. You get the stretch when the elbows straighten up, so make sure you come all the way straight. One more. And release the hands. We're done with our little pad, if you want to move it out of the way. And then lie on your belly. We're going to go into Sphinx pose, a spinal extension. So allow your toenails to touch the top of the mat. Bring your shoulders and elbows in alignment. So don't have your elbows too far forward. And don't have your elbows back here like we do in Cobra. We want a nice vertical line to go into Sphinx pose. Palms are spread wide, flat on the mat. Everything touching the mat stays on the mat. You don't lift your hips on this one. It's a gentle spinal extension. All we do is grow through the shoulders. So look forward over the top of your mat. Inhale, grow through the shoulders. Press firmly through the mat. Let your glutes relax. So even though you're lifting up, you might have a tendency to squeeze your bottoms. Let your bottoms relax. One more breath cycle. And then release. We'll do Sphinx one more time, and we'll take 3 breath cycles. Remember, keep your glutes relaxed. Inhale, grow through your shoulders. Glutes relax. Keep growing through the shoulders. Take 2 more breath cycles. Last one. Lower down, going into child's pose with wide knees. So push your bottoms back towards your feet. Open the knees wide as your mat. Big toes are touching, knees are wide. Arms are forward, or they could be underneath your head to make a little rest spot for your forehead. And just take 2 breath cycles here with wide knees. We're going to change our child's pose back to a narrow knees. So walk the knees together. And we're going to go into our rotation. So walk your hands to the left edge of your mat. Push your hips right and let your chin or cheek rest against your left shoulder. Heavy right hip. Feel that deep stretch in the hip and the low back muscle called the QL. One more breath cycle. And we switch. Walk your hands to the right edge of your mat. Push your hips left. Let your chin or cheek rest against your right shoulder. One more breath cycle. And walk your hands back to center. We're going to go into seated poses now. So grab your cushion or your block to set your hips upon. So this just makes your hips a little bit higher than your knees as you come into easy pose, Sukhasana. It's a little bit more comfortable to keep your spine in an upright position. So anything we can do to help build good habits for good posture is a benefit. So this is a great thing. At my computer desk, I actually have a yoga mat rolled up on my computer chair just to keep my hips slightly elevated. You can also buy special chairs that have features like that. And it just helps to keep that upright spine. We're going to add a couple variations to our easy pose, our Sukhasana pose. The first one is a fold. So allow your fingertips to touch the earth. Listen to your body for range of motion. You may not crawl your hands forward very far, and that's okay. No judgments, right? No judgments in yoga practice. Crawl your fingertips forward to see how that feels. If it's okay, maybe come a couple more inches. Maybe you want to come to flat palms for more support. Maybe you can crawl a little bit further. If you want, bow the head, but keep the head reaching forward. Listen to your knees. If they're feeling any strain or tension, then back it off a little bit. Listen to your body. Take one more breath cycle at center. And we're going to add rotation. So walk both hands over towards your right knee. Bow the head. And as the hands walk right, we deepen the stretch in the left side body and the left hip. Let's take it opposite. Walk your hands over to the left knee. One more breath cycle. Come back to midline. Walk your hands back towards your body to sit tall. We're going to go into sundial pose here. So take all 10 fingertips to the back of your head. Make sure all 10 fingertips are touching, even the thumbs. Don't let the thumbs flay out in the air. Draw your elbows back in sundial pose. And we're going to add cat and cow to our sundial pose. So inhale, and then as you exhale, come into your cat back and draw the elbows together. Inhale, open it back up. A little cow stretch, pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. Do that again. Exhale, draw the elbows together. Inhale, open. Twice more. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. And inhale. And release those hands down. You can come off your block now. We're going to go into a little seated sequence with the legs forward. Stretching the hips and thighs and low back. Starting with cradle pose. We'll do cradle at the beginning and the end and just see if we see a difference. Draw your right foot in, pick up the right foot with the left hand, cradle the bent knee with the right arm, and add just a little bit of a rocking motion. Keep that spine upright. Breathe. And just observe where you are, where the foot is comfortable, how far it is from your chest. And then pause. Go ahead and take that foot across, setting it on the floor. Foot is flat, so we're going into half Lord of the Fishes. Spine is upright, shoulders down. Turn and hug the knee into your body. Breathe. Keep both arms hugging the knee today. I want to really focus on that deep stretch for that outer thigh. And if you want to add a little neck stretch here, just turn to look over the shoulder behind you, the right shoulder. One more breath cycle. Face front, and we'll go into figure 4. Allow the ankle to rest on the thigh, foot is floating. Hands behind you, recline slightly and bend your left knee. Now the left foot is flat on the mat or the floor, and you can set it up for an easy stretch. Foot is closer to your device, moderate, a little bit closer to your hips, or an intense stretch, the hips moving all the way up next to the heel. If that's too much, then modify. Wiggle the toes on both feet. Keep your head growing up through the shoulders, no turtles. Heavy hips on the mat, feel that nice stretch. Heavy, heavy hips. Going for deep muscles, gluteus medius, piriformis. One more breath cycle. Keep the right knee bent. Straighten your left knee back out. We're going to go to head to knee pose. So bring that right foot to the inside of your left leg. It could be tucked up close to the groin, or it could be further away. You pick. If your knee doesn't comfortably lie onto the mat, if it pops up a little bit, that's okay. Just let it. Don't try to force it down. If you want, you could even tuck your block or your cushion underneath your knee in this pose. Look towards your left toes. Allow your hands to rest just below the knee. Draw the elbows down and keep your spine long as you draw your head towards your left toes. Breathe. You can bow the head, but keep the head reaching towards the left toes. Survey your body. Right outer thigh, right hip, right low back. And let's go a little deeper into that low back by adding rotation. Keep your left hand where it is. Right arm is hugging someone right in front of you. And then start to elevate the elbow. Maybe it comes up to the height of your forehead, maybe just above your head, maybe all the way above your head. You pick. You are in control of the range of motion. Hand is relaxed. Give it a little shake. It's a rainbow shape wherever you are. So if you've got the arm lower, it's still a rainbow or a curve or an arch. Don't sink onto your left shoulder. One more breath cycle. And now spiral your body, look back down at the left knee and lift up out of the pose. Going back into your cradle pose on this side. Pick up that right foot with your left hand. And I can already feel I can pull that leg a little closer to my chest. If you wanted to try the deeper progression, I'll give it a go. If it doesn't work, you can come back here. But the deeper progression is foot to the crook of the elbow, but you have to maintain an upright spine. So if that doesn't work, go back to the hand connected to the foot. Take one more breath cycle. And extend that leg forward. Let's do that sequence on the other side. Draw your left foot in for cradle pose. Pick it up with the right hand. Gently cradle, rock. Shoulders relaxed, tall spine. And just observe. Pause the motion. Set the foot down, flat foot on the outside of the right leg. Sit tall. Turn and hug the knee into your body. Both arms hugging that knee. Shoulders relaxed, ribcage lifted. Squeeze it in there tightly so you get a nice stretch on the outer thigh and hip. If you want, turn to look over your left shoulder. One more breath cycle. And face front. Allow the ankle to rest on the thigh. Foot is floating. Hands behind to recline slightly. And now bend the right knee. Set it up for your stretch. Less intense, moderate intensity, or maximum intensity. Grow through the shoulders, no turtles. And wiggle the toes. Relax the feet. Close your eyes if you like. Heavy hips. Feel them get heavier. Feel that enhance your stretch. One more breath cycle. Open your eyes. Keep the left knee bent, but straighten the right leg back out. And then draw that left foot against the right inner thigh. Set it up for your position. It could be tucked close to the groin or further away. And again, if you wanted to add a prop underneath the knee, you're welcome to add your block or your cushion. Look towards your right toes, hands below the right knee. Draw the elbows down. Fold from the hip crease. Bow your head if you like, but keep the head reaching towards the toes. Feel the length in the back of the right leg, as well as the stretch in the outer left thigh, left hip, and left low back. One more breath cycle and we'll add rotation. Keep your right hand on your right leg, left arm, hug someone right in front of you. Keep that curved shape to the arm as you elevate the elbow. Part way, a little bit further, or all the way up. Wiggle the fingers, relax the hand. Don't sink onto your right shoulder. Keep lifting up through that shoulder. One more breath cycle. And turn to look back down at your right knee. Slowly lift up out of the pose. And let's go back into cradle pose on the second side. Pick up your left foot with your right hand. Add that cradling of the bent leg. Add the motion. If it feels accessible, draw the foot into the crook of the elbow. Keep the spine tall. One more breath cycle. Pause, release, extend that leg forward. Give the knees a little shake. We're going to lie down to finish up. We're going to use our strap once again, so have it available to you. You can use your elbows to help you down onto the mat, or you could do a slow roll down, engaging the abdominal muscles. We didn't do very many strength poses today, no warriors, no balance. So if you want, add that one little strength pose for your core muscles. Once you're there, adjust your low back, make a nice connection between your low back and the mat. We're going to keep that right leg bent, straighten out your left, and grab your strap as the knee draws in, and you place the strap on the sole of your right foot. Extend it to the sky. Relax the shoulders, falling into the mat, and then with the leg straight, want to keep this leg straight, just gently pull and release. Easing into the stretch on the back of the leg here. And then pause with the pressure applied. You hold the strap in one or both hands. Try not to hold this up so high that your shoulder's pulling off the mat. Hold the strap down low so you can keep those shoulders relaxed onto the mat. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Release the pressure, and we're going to open that leg for an inner thigh stretch. So hold the strap in your right hand and open the leg to the right. I've got some furniture in the way, so I'm not opening it very far, but I'm still getting a stretch. You could lower your leg closer to the floor if you don't have furniture in the way. And now don't look up over at your device. Just look up at the ceiling, relax your neck. Your left hand could rest on your belly or out to the side, whatever's comfortable to you. If you want to enhance the stretch, think about moving your right leg closer to your head, just by pulling on the strap, and that'll enhance the stretch. One more breath cycle. Bend your knee. Bring the leg back to vertical, and then pass the strap off into your left hand to lower that leg across the body. Keep both shoulders on the earth. Breathe. Let the weight of the leg be heavy on the strap. Let your left arm do the work to hold the weight of the leg. Outer thigh and hip. One more breath cycle. Bend the knee into your chest and remove the strap. Switching sides. Allow the right leg to straighten out. Draw your left knee in. Place the strap on the sole of your left foot. Extend it to the sky. Hold the strap ends with one or both hands. You pick. Don't hold it up high. That pulls your shoulders off of the mat. Hold it down low and let your shoulders relax. And then add that easy motion, easing into the stretch. Keep that leg straight. And then pause with the tension applied. Knee is straight for the best benefit of your stretch. If you want to test this, you could bend the knee and the stretch goes away. So don't do that. Keep the leg straight. One more breath cycle. Ease the pressure off. Holding the strap in your left hand, let's open that leg to the left. Bringing it either partway to the floor or very close to the floor. You pick. Left elbow is resting on the earth to give you some support, and then let the weight of the leg surrender to the strap. Let the strap and the arm do the work. And you don't need to look towards your device anymore. You can just look up at the ceiling. You can close your eyes. Incorporate your victory breath if you like. One more breath cycle. Put a small bend in your knee, bring the leg back to vertical, pass the strap into your right hand, and lower the leg across the body. Keep both shoulders connected to the mat. Outer thigh and hip stretch. Close your eyes. One more breath cycle. And put a bend in the knee to draw the knee into your chest. Remove the strap, set it off to the side. We're done with that prop. Hug both knees into your chest, add a little sway. And we'll finish off with just a few more stretches here. All stretching, almost all stretching today, full body stretch. In fact, let's do a full body stretch. Feet to the bottom of the mat, arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, yawn. Do that one more time. As you inhale, the fingertips go as far away from the toes as you can. Inhale, exhale, yawn. Draw both knees back into your chest. Going into supine cow face. Cross your right thigh over the left. And now you can place your hands on the shins, or you can place both hands on your left shin. You pick, and then push down slightly. If you've got both hands on the left shin, you're going to focus everything onto that right hip. But if you switch the hands so one hand is on each shin and you add pressure down, you'll get a little extra bonus stretch for both legs. You can even crawl down to your ankles or the tops of your feet. Once you do that, make sure you relax the shoulders and head to the mat. One more breath cycle. Release your hands, uncross your legs, cross left thigh over right. Draw the knees towards your chest. Once again, you can place both hands on your right shin. We're stretching the left hip this time. Or you could have the hands, one on each shin, ankle, or the tops of the feet. Once you set it up, make sure your head and shoulders come back down to relax onto the mat. Maybe close your eyes. Let your hips feel heavy. One more breath cycle. And release your hands, uncross your legs, place your feet flat on the mat. We're going to go into bound angle, supine bound angle. Insides of the feet are touching. Allow the knees to open out, and then bring the soles of the feet to touch. You can rest your hands on your belly or at your heart center, or you can even rest your hands on the inner thighs. Allow those shoulders to externally rotate. Close your eyes. Let your feet relax against each other. One more breath cycle. Hands to the outsides of your thighs. Close the knees. Insides of the feet and the insides of the knees are touching. And now exhale both knees to the left. Knees and feet are stacked. Hands could be on your core, cactus arms, arms to a T, whatever you like. And if you want, look towards your right shoulder, and that'll keep that right shoulder connected to the mat. Open belly twist. One more breath cycle. Inhale the knees to center, readjust your low back, make a nice connection, and then lower the knees to the right. Once again, arms could be in a T or resting on your core. Look towards your left shoulder. Keep that left shoulder pressed into the mat. Close your eyes. One more breath cycle. Inhale the knees back to center. Adjust your low back. Draw both knees into your chest. So in that last pose, open belly twist, we have a little spinal extension. So we complement that, pressing the low back into the mat. And we'll even go a step further, going into happy baby. Knees and feet wide, flex the feet. And now let the soles of the feet look up at the ceiling. Hands connect to your shins or your ankles or your big toes, or wrap the hands to the soles of the feet. Draw the bent knees closer to your armpits. Relax the arms backwards. If you want, add a sway. If that's not right for you, then remain stationary. Don't look at your device. Don't turn your head now. Look straight up at the ceiling. Relax your throat. Relax your brow. Resting face. Heavy hips. Enhance the stretch. One more breath cycle. Pause the motion. Allow the hands to return to the mat one at a time. Bring your feet to the mat. And we're going into relaxation. You can allow your knees to rest against each other with the knees bent, or you can straighten your legs out for corpse pose. Palms can be resting on your belly or on the mat with the palms open to the sky, whatever's comfortable to you. If you want to take a sideline fetal pose, you can. Wherever you are, take 3 more breath cycles where you are. Relax your entire body. Feel the benefit of today's practice. Lots of stretches. We stretch the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hips, the low back, the side body, the wrists, thighs, calves. One more breath cycle. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. We'll return to a seated pose. You can do one sit-up to get there, or roll onto your side. Be gentle one more time and push yourself to a seated pose. You can sit on your block again, as I am, or you can just sit on your mat. My quote today is an anonymous author, and it's about just taking your time and just observing all the good things and relaxing. Remember, we started with the gesture, meaning relax. And the quote is, life is not about milestones, but about moments. So enjoy all the individual moments, my friends, and don't worry if they add up to a milestone or not. Bring your hands outside your hips, inhale to the sky, thumbs touch your mind, your spirit breath, and your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a great full body stretch, and until next time, keep breathing.